Hello? I'm gonna get on. Go down. Yeah, take a picture.
Okay. A common feeling here seems to be that the only time anybody pays any attention to conditions here is when there is violence. As one young man put it to me, he asked, sorry. A common feeling here seems to be that the only time anybody pays any attention at all to conditions here, start again. A common feeling here seems to be that the only time anybody pays any attention to conditions here is when there is violence. As one young man put it to me, he said, "When's the next time I'll see you? The next time a cop gets killed?" Kenneth Gale, ABC News, Chicago.
The idea for having a white policeman going into Green was really to introduce them.
Oh, not necessarily, not really, because like I said before, you found a couple of Ku Klux Klans, in the police force. I mean, like, it's the same night when the two police got killed, when they came through the buildings, as they say, raking through the buildings or whatever, screening out, but searching for guns. Well, they found me on the floor and woke me and searched me, took me down to the station. I stayed for about 10 to 15 minutes. So when I came back, they was about on the second floor. See, I have a friend that live on 203. His name is Willie. I don't know his last name. Well, anyway, they came in his home and was grabbing on his lady. She pregnant, and he asked me to let her go. And I don't know, you might call it resist, but it wasn't, because he was defending his lady's honor. And they beat him and took him. Now he had to pay $1,000 to get out. They didn't find nothing in his house.
What do you think, if they continue to walk and talk, be more policemen shot over them?
It might be. I mean, if they come at it better. See, for one thing, they shouldn't have came out with, let's see, now the walk and talk policemen that was around our building. You can count the blacks, probably 2. And this thing with the guys, they walk around. At one time we was going to the beach, and there was they was playing with a rock with their sticks, He had to come out and show that he had a stick too, and say, "I can knock this in the hole for you." So that type of thing. How could you make friends with flashing your sticks and your guns all the time?
Why would a black policeman be any better, really, except for...
Well, see, with a black policeman, he can somewhat communicate better. He came out of the hood like that himself.
Well, do you need police protection, more police protection?
Well, you need some for some of gang activity, yes. See, now, with the gangs, it's a different story. You have to be in the gang to see what it's for.
Some of the gangs perform police functions.
Yeah, well, some will. Yeah, if there's come up to see an old lady coming down the street and some little kid trying to take a purse, well, then they'll stop that and send a little kid home crying.
What do you think of the gangs? Good or bad?
To me, gang never do no good in this community. It never will.
Why is that?
Well, see, but still in all, a gang is nowhere unless you show that you're going to help the community. See, but right now, the gangs we have over there now, some help, But still and now this gang will fight this gang and take like the 8 little girls got shot on Division Street. Now the gang, that's helping the community there?
Do you think more police protection can help?
Yes and no, really. Because, see, now the white police, that's one thing, the white police.
What do you think of all this?
Well, I think if you, no, there's no such, I wouldn't say a gang. The only gang there is really is what they call themselves the Cobra Stones, you know. Hey, I think that they're the really only so-called gangs. And to get rid of this, you would have to tear down 1150 and 1160. And all of those apartment houses, or should I say slums, over by Leaders Cleaners, you know. And as far as the walk and talk program with the policemen, I don't think that prejudice have anything to do with it. Me myself, I don't have anything that's prejudice. And me myself, I'm not a prejudiced person. I mean, I like, you know, anybody, but anybody that's against me.
And you dislike them.
Right. You know, like the man said here, the pig that went up and started messing with the man's wife, you know, then he was right. And say, I've been in a car where it was a white and colored policeman together. Hey, the white one was gonna let me go, but your own brother is the one said, no, let's take him down. You know, you better stay here. Even when I was 16, I got picked up for curfew. The white one was gonna let me go. The colored one asked me for some money, you know. And I've been the same instance when the white have did the same thing. That's why I said it's bad whites and it's black, and it's, you know, it's bad both sides, you know.
Is it sort of a matter of just a lot of hate going on?
No, it's not the matter of hate. It's the matter of authority.
Yeah.
Well, see, you get some policemen, some black policemen that makes the force, but then he use it for his own, you know. Well, he got to do what I say because I'm the police.
Really?
Okay.
Black or white?
Get down there, boy. You know, if I tell you get down there, you get down there. I'm the police. I'm the man.
But well, let me ask you this then. Do you think then, though, that most of the people here would still feel better about having black policemen than white people? White policemen?
Well, speaking for the old people, yes.
Yeah.
The old people would feel that.
Not the young people?
Well, see, the young people wouldn't care. They wouldn't care if you send police over here or not.
I mean, black police. Or
Pig
white
is a
police.
pig to them.
Because a pig is a pig. For the old people, were saying send some brothers down there. But it's still police.
What's the final answer? What's the solution?
You think of it.
Is it things like this, gatherings like you have now, getting together, talking to each other, and talk about this kind of thing with each other very much?
And that would help it more than it would hurt it a whole lot.
No, that would it would if you get a bunch of young black people like us together, I think that'll help. I think that'll help. You know, if we can all gather somewhere and figure out this problem. Because we have a voice, whether they like it or not. You know, like they trying to lower the voting ages down to 18 now anyway.
Are things getting any better for you think, as far as the future goes?
Not really, because you still got poverty. You still got.
Are your kids, do you think, going to grow up in a project like Cabrini Green?
Well, I'm gonna try not for me to. You know, I mean,
Well, mine, not definitely.
It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
No, it really wouldn't hurt.
Would it be better if they got out? Or no?
Would it be better? Would it ruin? When it got going nowhere. I mean, like if I get married and have a family, if we have to live in Cabrini, we live there. My kids will know how to survive. Because I'm gonna teach them how to survive.
But why does it have to be survival? You get that basic.
Well, see, you can't go no farther. Like now, I'm surviving. Yeah, I get in the program where I get my high school diploma. You know, might go to college, get my college degrees. It might not help too much. I still got to pimp a slave.
It's not really wrong with Cabrini, you know, it's just a situation, you know, you just have to cope with it. Some can get along, some can't.
If you go to college then, well, most of the college graduates probably don't really have to cope with it. I guess that's what some of the people told me the other day.
You still have it, see? You still have it. All right, you leave, but you leaving the, I come out of a big family, you know. It's 9 of us, you know, all right? So I make it. I still got the rest of my family down there, my little brothers and sisters, you know. They got to make it too. You can't just make it and leave it.
That's,
Hold up a second. Okay, I'll chat a little bit. Talking to Chief James Reardon about the walk and talk program and the troubles over in the Cabrini Green area. Throwing some questions at him that came up to me when I was talking to some of the black youngsters there. And, yeah. Chief Reardon is head of the patrol division. As such, he runs the walk and talk program, has ultimate responsibility for it. We'll be talking to him about the success or failure of it, what it holds for the future, and that sort of thing. Is that enough?
No, get some silent on him now.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay. We'll probably ask him why he beats his wife every night, but not necessarily. And as we talk, we'll probably develop some other questions that will arise. See what happens. Okay? Chief Reardon, I understand the walk and talk program is going to continue in that area, and what's the outlook for it now?
Yes, it will continue. It was instituted about 6 weeks ago for the purpose of putting foot patrolmen, radio equipped, in this type of area, a complex that is difficult to police with motor patrol.
On the surface, one might say, off the top of his head, that because 2 of your men were killed over there, that the program has not been a success.
I don't think this is a fair evaluation. It takes courageous, dedicated men to work in an area, particularly to walk in an area for a tour of duty where there have been shots fired at them or debris thrown on them, where they've been threatened verbally or by insinuation. But the courageous, dedicated police officers know that police service has to be available to the public. They're a symbol of strength to the people who want police protection, and a symbol of strength to those who don't want police in an area so that they can pick on other citizens or take advantage of them.
Some of the black youths I've talked to over there, and one of your own patrolmen, Patrolman Robinson, consider the walk and talk program really more of a walk and spy program, or method of gathering intelligence and looking for weapons in that area.
Well, first of all, I don't know who you mean when you say my Patrolman Robinson, but the police officers who have been assigned up there for the last 6 weeks simply supplemented the vehicle patrols that are in there. And there's an attempt to show the true side of police officers to people in the area. They've engaged in ball games, they've engaged in social affairs, they've tried to give them a complete picture of a police officer. If, because people come to the police that are there with more requests for service or more requests, period, someone takes this as spying, I don't think that this is really an accurate description. Certainly, a community has to police itself.
The accusation, but another observation by some of the youths was that they would like to see more black patrolmen working on the walk and talk program. Is that feasible?
Certainly it's a desire. We would like to see this type of deployment of black patrolmen. But I think the real thing that we have to get across is that a police officer is a police officer first. Then probably the next distinction would be male and female. And then possibly black and white. I don't think that this is such an important factor.
Do you think by sending your white patrolmen into that area, you are able to establish some kind of a trust between black and white? In other words,
well, I think first, I'm sure that you're aware that this was an integrated team that worked in there, and that the cars that work in that area are integrated to the extent that's possible. And I think that we have to get across the idea that police officers are police officers, and when you need help, it doesn't make much difference. Certainly in some of the attacks that have been made on police in the last couple of years, there's been no color line drawn.
Would you say that the shooting of the two policemen there may have proved the point that there is a need for a walk and talk program?
I don't think that the shooting of the two police officers there proves any point except that a threat was made, threat was carried out, but that I don't think that the threat speaks for the community. There are thousands of people that live there, and the actions of a few certainly shouldn't condemn a community.
Another suggestion made. Why were the policemen there only in the daytime and not at night when there's more action?
Well, let me explain first that that area is part of a normal beat structure, that there are police officers who respond to calls in that area 24 hours a day. These beats were not changed. The walk-talk program is simply a supplement. And it really is a preliminary stage to see if foot patrolmen, radio-equipped, can handle this type of area. One of the problems that comes up is the need for vehicular equipment to transport people who may have become injured, possibly in the apartment, and come down and seek the police for help, so that we have to combine vehicles and walking policemen.
Okay, cut it for a minute. Well, Chief, let's try to get into that a little bit. What kind of people, what kind of men volunteer for this, or what kind of men do you get in the walk and talk patrols?
Well, when Walk and Talk was first instituted, the program was described to the officers in the task force, and in several conversations, some formal, some informal. And we had a group of volunteers, men who understood what the concept of Walk and Talk was, and who volunteered to do it. And incidentally, Sergeant Severin was the first volunteer for the Cabrini area. He had worked on the north side for quite a while, was fairly familiar with the area, and volunteered for it. We have men who see problems, who see mistrust, and believe that the way to overcome mistrust is exposure. With some of the technical advances, the experimentation of the foot radio and the model that we're using now, and the concept of combining foot patrolmen with vehicle patrolmen, you get a police officer who likes to be known to the people. And this is the type of volunteer you get. It takes a thoughtful, brave, considerate man to do this type of work.
Are you concerned now that maybe some of your men are going to get a little hardened, a little emotionally toughened up by this?
Oh, I think we all go through a day-by-day emotional crisis one way or another. When you say hardened, if you mean calloused, I don't believe so. None of these men are just out of recruit school. They all have a good deal of experience, and they're vocal. They have no qualms about telling us what they feel. I don't think that we'll get that type of reaction.
What are they telling you now?
They tell you a mountain of things. It's hard for them to understand, in some cases, why people in various programs will accept them and make demands that are not police related. And it becomes necessary to explain to them that they are the agency which is available, and that if people have no place else to make the demand, they'll make it to the police officer. And I think that this is really where the division comes in between Walk and Talk. Walk and Talk is a program instituted to put the foot patrolman in the area with large numbers of people. This particular program has been refined to experiment this complex type of geographical area. We have several in the city.
Since you've been involved in this whole program, have you personally changed your own outlook as to what needs to be done in areas like Cabrini Green?
Oh, I think that we modify or enlarge programs day by day. What needs to be done is not one simple answer. I think that there are a great many things that need to be done. What short-range programs or intermediate-range programs or long-range programs we propose are altered bit by daily occurrences.
Do you feel any new awareness of the problems in there now, yourself?
I think that in the time that we were in there, more and more of the residents in the area felt some semblance of security and at least the opportunity to call on the police for service. As it runs in most police work, I would say that less than 10% of the calls that we got were of a criminal nature. Most of them are service.
Nothing.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree with him.
What do you say?
They're going to come get our camera. I think I'm agreeing with him.
Okay.
Hey, Jim.
So if you can just look at me, forget about these guys for a second, and can you just give me your name again, sir?
Mark Pratt.
And how do you spell Pratt?
P-R-A-T-T.
And Mr. Pratt, do you live here in Cabrini Greens?
Yep, 28 years.
Okay. Mr. Pratt, you have a Sun-Times in your hand, so you've read the article about CHA and the federal government possibly taking it over temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think it's about time, actually. The mismanagement has gone on too long. The repairs in the building are not being done. It's just time someone took a step in.
I'm sorry.
Goodbye. I'll see you later.
Okay, we'll try it again. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask you again, what do you think of the CHA possibly being taken over by HUD temporarily?
Okay, I think it's about time. I think the mismanagement has gone on too long. Most of the money has been diverted from repairing the buildings to other things that residents have no idea or clue about. And hopefully the federal government can get things tip-top shape.
So you've been aware of these problems, and you're aware. You've read the Sun-Times article about what the rumors are that the government might do.
Yes.
You've kind of touched on this a little bit, but can you tell me what's wrong with public housing at Cabrini Greens and maybe overall in Chicago?
There's not enough opportunities for residents. You have an entire development such as Cabrini where there's plenty of opportunities for employment if employment was, in a sense, passed out appropriately. There could be programs developed for residents to work for themselves rather than having outsiders come in and work for them. As far as cleaning, management, you have some buildings here that are resident-ran, resident-owned, resident-managed, And I think we need a chance, we need an opportunity to show that we can do something for ourselves, but we don't get that opportunity with CHA.
You feel like they're not managing the place properly?
I think they're not doing a job that's too good at all.
Do you think that what are some of the other problems just about the way the place is kept up?
Construction, cleaning is always going to be a problem. Of course, gangs and drugs, but again, that goes back to economic solutions. I think that if young folks and old folks had an opportunity to be employed and made a gainful employment, as well as help clean up their own community, which you see that happening throughout the country, but not in public housing. I don't know whether it's happening somewhere else, but I know in Chicago it's not happening here. Residents here are not given opportunities, and I don't think we need to go outside to work at a Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's when we can find jobs right here in the community.
Would you say overall, though, that CHA probably hasn't done the job that they should have done?
No. From ordering doors that don't fit to getting windows that break easily. I mean, it's just been horrible conditions. I mean, it's just hard getting the maintenance crew. You have one electrician here and one plumber here for the entire community, which is ridiculous. So you can imagine a backlog on orders to have plumbing fixed and to have electrical work done and other small things like that.
Do you think if HUD, obviously the situation has been seen by others as being bad outside of Chicago, do you think if HUD or some other federal agency took over that things can change?
I'm hoping they can change. I'm not going to say that HUD is the answer, but I think HUD probably can do a better job of managing than what CHA has proven, not just in the last 7 years with Vince Lane's term, but over the past 20 years, that they really have done a poor job at managing. I mean, CHA has really gone down from the time I was a child here until now that I'm raising my children here, and it's a lot worse. And it has a lot to do with gangs and a lot to do with drugs, but it also has a lot to do with management as well.
So you've grown up here, so you know, I mean, you've seen pretty much almost the whole spectrum.
Mm-hmm. The whole
Cabrini Greens now versus 28 years ago, what would you say some of the most sharp comparisons?
Cleanliness, increase in joblessness, an increase in drugs, of course, the violence, opportunity. As a youngster, I had an opportunity to get a summer job. Now there may not be even a summer job for some kids nowadays. I had an opportunity to get involved with the community through community action, community activism. Those programs don't exist anymore.
Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate you talking to us.
No problem.
Do you have any other colleagues here? All right, so if you just look at me forget about these guys. And could you tell me your name, please?
My name is Debbie.
Debbie? Debbie, what's your last name?
Payne.
How do you spell that?
P-A-Y-N-E.
Payne. Miss Payne, we're doing a story about the federal government wanting to come and take over CHA because they feel like it's being mismanaged. Had you heard anything about that by any chance? Or?
Well, I heard that they was like trying to renovate it, but not as far as like the federal government, just as far as they trying to renovate it. You see all the gates they trying to put up. Basically, he's trying to me, it's like they just trying to lock us up. So that's how I feel about it. All these extra gates, all these extra guard booths and everything, just don't really necessary because people gonna feel more like they not doing anything for us, just trying to lock us up or trying to move us out.
One of the reasons that the federal government wants to come in here is they feel like there are a lot of problems with public housing in Chicago. Do you think there's some problems with public housing here?
Yeah, it's a lot of problems, like far as like, say like maintenance, things that go wrong in your apartment. It takes forever for something, that's wrong to be fixed. So that takes a long time, and you have to, that basically takes a long time for anything that goes wrong in your apartment. You have to wait a long time for it to get fixed. And as far as management could be probably could be a little bit better, probably.
So you feel like the condition of your apartments aren't being as well taken care of as they could be?
I mean, yeah, if something goes wrong, it may take like 2-3 days, but something goes wrong. I understand they have a lot of tenants that need problems, but they don't get to them all as they should. And like things that they should fix, they don't fix it as well. You have to call them right back again because it might break down again. So
it sounds like they don't have enough people to work this whole place.
That could be a reason. I understand there's a lot of tenants living around here, so they can't get to everybody as quickly as they probably should. So I figure they should have some more workers, more workers that do that kind of work to do whatever that needs to be fixed and then get it on, taken care of. And there's a lot of tenants, they rush you about paying your rent, but they don't want to come fix your apartment. So I feel like it could be some more better changes made.
What do you think now if the federal government came in and took over and said we want to make some changes? What do you think they could do to improve public housing here?
I don't know what they can do, basically, but not on top of my head. I don't know what changes they could probably think they could do to make it better. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm okay living around here, but I just wouldn't live around here too long. I'm not gonna be over here too much longer, because I've been over here. I practically grew up over here. So, and my kids, I don't want my kids to grow up over here. So I won't be over here too much longer.
Do you think that this is just a bad situation in general? Or do you think that someone could come in here and clean this up and make it a little better?
If they had the right management, somebody who's going to do something, somebody who got the ideas already in their head and just need to go about doing it, I think they probably could bring somebody in and make better changes. Not just try to close this down or try to move the people out of this neighborhood into someplace else. They could probably make the buildings look better. They could probably get better security, because security around these buildings, half these buildings and row houses don't do anything. And like them booths, those guard booths, a lot of them guards don't do anything. If something, like say if someone's fighting out here, they would just sit here and look. A lot of security is not all that good. Security not all that good. As far as like the buildings, security is not good because anybody just goes in and out the buildings. So things in the buildings could be, better improved. Row houses pretty much straight. There's a few things that could be better improved in the row houses also.
Great. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate you talking to us.
All right.
What's that? You have the name and everything? Yeah.
You want her to get
on this? How do you spell your name? D-E-I-E?
Yeah, you can spell it like that.
Jimmy, go to your right hand.
I think I'd rather stay over there right now. I don't have my own video. I was over there.
You want to turn this way?
Sure. That's great.
Yeah.
I see y'all just got back from y'all trip. Where y'all go? Wrong way. You gotta come around the other way. You gotta come around this way now. No, you come around this way. Turn this way. Around this way.
Now, is this something that's going to be on the air or anything?
Yeah. Tonight.
Tonight? On Channel 5, right?
7.
7.
Good going. Yeah, I got home in time to go up there to meet y'all, but by the time I got up there, I was gone already.
Yeah, because when I got up there, the bus was put in my business.
By the time I got up there, y'all was gone.
That was about like 9.
Yeah, no, I got home about 10 something.
Right.
About 10.
I left up there by 9:30. The bus was put in my business like, come on.
I felt your little note.
Figure you had it. I figured, okay, you missed the scene. Well, just the scene.
This is nice, you know, but I got things. Big the dirty face. That TV looking like crazy. YouTube. So you gonna be on TV, eyes red, face red. Plus the head needs to be cut. I definitely cut y'all hair today. Definitely. I got it. Just the cash. I went to the place to change my boss wasn't off.
He wasn't going for the day.
No, he just wasn't off. You know, it's a construction company. He don't stay in the office. He like
Ain't nobody else that could
no, he don't because the only person else.